Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for tuning in to the Boxing Authorities. Joining me at the desk, as always, Luther Dupree Jr., Smoking Jim Frazier, and my name is Claudio Relsano. Well, one of my favorite fighters to watch, and somebody who I think is underrated, doesn't get enough airtime, either on TV or verbally, is Arturo Beterbiev. He is fighting Marcus Brown, who's a tough fighter. This on December 17th on ESPN. He's the WBC light heavyweight and IBF light heavyweight champ. Your thoughts on the fight and about Beterbiev?
I think it should be a great fight. We look at Beterbiev, 16-0. Everybody who stepped in the ring has gotten knocked out. Power puncher, not a lot of speed, but nothing but pure power. Very underrated. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of great names on his record, but everybody he's fought, he's knocked out. Marcus Brown, similar, doesn't have a lot of great names on his record. He lost to John Pascal, but he tested positive after that fight. So, you know, in my eyes, he's still undefeated. Yeah, in my eyes, he's still undefeated.
Especially with you.
So I think it should be a great fight. Beterbiev, you know, just power. Look at the power shots, everything he throws, mean intentions. I like his demeanor, man. He's a guy. We talked to Rayco War Saunders a couple weeks ago, Jim, and he talked about how strong this guy is. So I'm looking for him to continue 17-0, 17 knockouts, but Marcus Brown is going to make it tough for him.
And again, the WBC light heavyweight champ, we got to mention that, but you mentioned the word demeanor.
Yeah.
He is for real.
No
Jim,
nonsense.
He is professional, no nonsense.
No Twitter fingers with this guy.
Exactly. Jim, your thoughts on the fight?
Well, I can't give him all kind of praise because he's too slow. But this will be an easy fight for him. He's fighting Marcus Brown. He's 6'2". He's a southpaw. He's a 212 U.S. Olympian. He calls himself Sir Marcus Brownie. Y'all call him Sir Saul Brownie. You know, this is a guy, you know, the Mexican fighters always talk about black guys don't have any heart. I think they're talking about him. I'm surprised he didn't come in the ring as a pimp because he got 2 domestic violence charges against women. I know you don't like that, do you, Lou? And I hope that Slower beat him up real good, man. I really don't like this guy, man.
You think he's going to win? Oh, your thoughts on the fight? Oh, you already said he's going to win. What are your thoughts on the fight?
I hope that the slow guy
You hope? What's your
goes
prediction?
17-0 and knocks out Marcus Brown.
I think
don't like Marcus Brown at all.
You met him? How many times you meet him, Jim?
Well, he got 2 domestic violence against women. I don't like that.
Right.
Do you?
No, of course not.
No, I don't like
Okay,
that.
I wasn't sure.
I just said that you met him. You said you don't like him like you met him.
Now, Beterbiev from here, let's say he wins, which he should. I'm agreeing with you. I think he's going to knock him out probably 8 to 9 rounds. And again, what you said, demeanor. He keeps coming. He's coming. And his game isn't speed. Okay, but that's okay. But he hits and he lands.
He hits hard,
Foreman
Jim.
wasn't a big speed guy. Rocky Marciano wasn't
Different
a speed guy.
styles, Jim.
Right.
He's full of power.
Would you
power in
ask
both
Mark
hands.
McGuire to be a stolen base guy?
He say baseball, so he can do
Yeah,
anything.
we won't get him started on that.
Here we
won't
go.
get him started on that.
He don't even know the sport
Do you
we're talking
understand what I'm
about.
saying?
I agree.
Would
I
you
agree
get
with
mad
you,
because
Claudio.
Mark McGuire didn't steal bases?
No, that's not what he's paid for.
I want Babe Ruth to steal
Beterbiev is paid to knock out guys. He's
And he
not
does.
he's not on the speed bait, working on the speed.
Yeah.
He's a power puncher.
You think
that's what we want.
You think he can be great?
I do.
He's 16-0 with 16 KOs.
Yeah, like you
that's
said,
a
he
great
ain't like
record.
nobody.
I think the thing about Beterbiev, he's not going to try to move up. I don't think. I think he's going to
He's
stay
gonna be
there.
And I'd like to see him get
Clear
a
it out.
Canelo fight.
Yeah, as soon as he fights
That's-
somebody, he'll run back to Russia.
I'd like to see him get a Canelo fight.
He'll run right back to Russia as soon as he
That
fights
was my
somebody.
question to you. And again, let me ask you this before I ask you that question. And I'll ask Jim too. Do you like a guy who clears out his division and stays there and dominates? Again, to repeat what Jim said about Michael Moore. If he would have stayed in the light heavyweight division, he'd have been Joe Louis. Or do you like them to jump around and bounce up and down?
I like him to clean out a division. You know,
stay there?
Stay there and then move up. I don't want to stay there
flip-flop.
forever. I like for him to clean out a division and go clean out another division.
Dr. Spin is in.
Like Terrence Crawford. He did 140. If he can go to 147 and clean out this division, I like that.
Mr. Butterworth.
I want you to clean out multiple divisions.
flip-flopping. You said
I
yes
want you to clean
and
out
then no
multiple
at the
divisions.
same
Can I
time.
answer the question, Jim? Dang. I want you to clean out multiple divisions. That's what I want.
Rather than me beat you, jump up. You
I-
want the number one guys.
I want
to
the
clean-
number one guys clean out, go to the next one,
you
clean that out, and keep moving. Staying in one division
Well, you
all
answered the
day.
question.
No. I want you to move around and clean out multiple
Okay,
divisions.
Your
all
thoughts
there
on
we
that?
go.
Dang,
Well,
try to
first of all-
understand that, Jim.
First of all, I like guys that come in shape and to defend their title. If you're a middleweight, a natural middleweight, I want you to stay middleweight your whole career. Okay. You know, fight, plant your
Why?
foot. Pardon me?
Why?
How can I have an opinion?
I
gotta explain myself to you.
That's
Like
what you
Canelo,
get when you
like
answer a
Canelo,
question.
right?
You
He
just
stays
explain.
there.
You just keep repeating
Listen,
the same thing.
Like Canelo stays there, right?
Listen, when you're great, like we said about Michael Moore, he was great everywhere but Charleroi. But when you're great, when you're great at 175 pounds with stomach muscles, why would you move up to heavyweight and look bloated?
So you can win a heavyweight championship.
No, for the money. He did it for the money.
Both. Yeah, money and also to win a championship. He could have fought
that Italian fighter that beat Roy Jones half to death. He always did it in the middleweight, didn't he?
Super in middle, yeah.
Okay, that's good for him.
Yeah,
that's good
stay
for
at
him.
the weight-
But
stay
in
at your
boxing,
natural weight
listen,
class.
Roy Jones is known for dominating his division, going up to the heavyweight, and winning a
He's
title.
known for cockfighting.
Nobody knows him for that except
I
you,
do.
Jim.
I do. He got 4,000 chickens on his farm.
You know what?
The chickens
Again,
know.
All respect to Canelo, but now something that Jim said a few shows back, and he's right. I didn't say he was right, but he was right.
Thank you.
Whenever, like you said, Luther and I, after Canelo beat Plant, so you want him to fight the number one guy here, number one. I do agree with not having to fight the best guy every single time. Okay,
He's
you
cherry
some guy-
picking.
and that's okay up to a point. Up to a point.
Who's the
Up to a
African
point.
he's fighting?
don't talk about him. I told you I liked him.
Mabutu
If
or whatever.
if Canelo didn't have red
Makuba,
hair,
he
y'all
can
know.
hit. That's gonna be. I'm gonna tell you right
Come
now.
on, man.
If he fights Makuba, whatever the hell his
He's
name
knocking
is,
him
it's
out.
not gonna
Tony
be as easy.
Bellew destroyed that guy. He's a
told you
C-level
not to talk
fighter.
about
This
him.
He's
country,
a C-level
this
guy,
country
Claudio.
does not like redheads. That's the whole thing, man. Y'all kicking the guy.
I'm telling you right
he's
now.
a great fighter.
Canelo's
If
gonna win and all that, but I'm
If he
telling
was
you
a
that.
blonde or a brunette, y'all
That
would love
fight
him.
might
wanted to
be
clean out the
more
division.
tough than people are going to say if he fights him. If he fights him. Because we'll jump into his fight soon about him not talking about him fighting Usyk, which I think is crazy. But I think that Mukabu fight is going to be tougher than you think.
It's
Is
gonna
that
be
is that a
whop.
black man?
Yes, Mukabu is.
He's
yes.
an African, Jim.
But he's tough.
I wasn't
seen
sure.
him.
I
I wish
wasn't
I had
sure.
some highlights of him from last week, and he was knocking them guys cold. Wasn't just beating them.
Is
he
any
was
white guy
knocking them
named
cold.
Keyshawn?
I know two of them. No, I'm just kidding. Keyshawn. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to this fight. Listen, I'm a big Better BF fan, and I think he's going to.
17-0, 17 KOs.
Like you said, demeanor, he keeps coming.
Slow.
Coming. I think he's going to do it. All right. Now, another fight coming this Saturday is the WBA regular, whatever that is, super middleweight title. That's David Morrell versus Atlantis Fox, on Fox Television. And again, the other one's on ESPN. Dave Morrell, 5-0. He is a champ. I think Fox has fought, I think he's like 28-3. He's been around a while. And again, to repeat, there was a fight several months ago that the WBC promoted. There was a guy who was like 3-0, was fighting a guy who was 8-6-1. What do we say? You got to watch the experience factor here. You think the experience factor will play a role?
Not in this fight. David Morrell is going to outshine this guy and probably knock this guy out in 4 or 5 rounds. As we see some highlights here, he was just toying with this guy, straight left, dropped him, put him in the hospital, as Jim likes to say. Listen, this guy, 5 fights already, the WBA regular. I thought they were getting rid of some of these regular
Was
champions.
that the referee's son that got knocked down? He hugged him. But
He was trying to save his life. He got hit with
Jim
that
would have said,
straight
go
left.
ahead, keep it going.
Jim would have helped him up and pushed him in
Talk about
to
a
get
slow
more
count.
punishment.
Talk about a slow count.
But no, I think Morrell's big time. I think he has power in both hands. He's fluid. I'm impressed with him. I can't wait to see this fight. He's in with another C-level fighter.
Good job.
C-level fighter. Jim's going to love it because this guy's going to get laid out.
Before I go to Jim, though, I always ask you this question: what can he be a crossover guy? I think he can.
I mean, he's 6 fights in.
Good-looking guy.
Yeah,
can
there's a chance. There's a chance.
Yeah, that's all
I'll
you
say there's a
ask.
chance.
Sure.
I mean, he has a chance because he has a nice style. Like you said, he has the look. We'll see. I think the potential's there.
Smoking Jim.
Well, first of all, I got the chance to see him. I did his fight in 2017. He was part of the Cuban team that came and fought on the Roberto Clemente Bridge. And then he seen some Steel City beauties like Ida, and he defected. And I don't blame him, man. Hey, listen, man. He's fighting a guy, Fox. Now, Fox fought a guy that was an Olympic alternate in Patrick Day, and Patrick Day only had 5 fights. And Fox beat Patrick Day half to death.
Good point.
But this Morrell is on the whole. This Morrell's on a whole nother level. This is a crossover fighter. This is a great fighter, and he's going to do some great things in boxing. He's going to eat up the 6'4" Fox.
Even though you don't think an experience is going to play a role?
He's going to make Fox quit in there.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to make him quit in there.
5 rounds or less.
Okay. Now,
You betting on that?
please don't start with that. Now, if Morrell gets by him, when would you? And I know you talk about marinating fights, but he's still, let's say, 6-0. I still think you need more experience. Okay, in my opinion, before you jump him up to the top 5, 6 guys. Even though he has the belt, Luth, what would you do with him next?
I'm moving him up past these C-level guys. This guy's another C-level fighter. He has to at least get to B
top
level.
10?
Top
Like
10,
number
top
10?
15,
Okay,
top
okay.
15, I would move him. But it's time for him to move up. I mean, he has the skills. It's time to see where he's at. I say top 15, next fight, top 10, and let him go. Because these WBA regular titles, I thought they were getting rid of them and trying to consolidate the belt. So he's going to have to step up pretty soon.
Jim, I'll ask you 2 questions on
Luther
that.
anything specific?
CTE Jim.
2 things. When you and I were coming, even though, again, Luther had a birthday, he's getting up there long in the tooth. When you and I were coming up, you didn't get a title at 5 wins, 6 wins, 10 wins, except for Leon Spinks.
Lomo got 1 and 2
But I'm
fights.
talking about when we were coming up. We were coming up. Do you think that's bad? And why is that now? Before I ask you the second question about, well, let me ask you that 2-part question. What would you do with him next? Would you have him fight somebody big time? And
What
do you
weight
like the
class is
idea
it? What weight
super
class?
middle?
I'd fight him for the title next fight.
The title?
Yeah, the title. He's ready.
And what would he have done
You
against
didn't even know his
Canelo?
weight class.
Well, he'd have done against Canelo. He'd have swam back to Cuba.
Do you think it would have made a difference if he was more experienced?
Huh?
Because
No,
Canelo right now is on the upswing. You want to wait.
Listen, like I said before, Canelo's one of the top 5 fighters that ever put on the gloves. This is a guy, I'm telling you, nobody likes him because he's got red hair. Luther was recently in Mexico. You never seen the red-haired guy in Mexico. He had to fight. He had to turn pro at 15. Now you guys are making him go from 135 all the
he's
way up
doing
to
it. We're not
heavyweight.
doing it.
All the
I
way
mean,
up to
Luther,
heavyweight.
I'm trying to
because
figure out
nobody
how he's
likes
doing
him.
it.
Did you, when you grew up, do you ever take a picture with Howdy Doody? This country, I'm telling you, the prejudice against redhead
How we get on redhead
guys.
Canelo and we're talking
They love
about
redhead
Morrell?
women.
But you,
Can you answer the question?
But they don't like
Can
would
you
you
answer
have
the
him-
would
question?
you have him
Answer the
fighting Canelo
question,
now?
Jim.
I would have him fight anybody other than Canelo for the title.
okay, well, Luther, I agree with Luther. Top 15. In other
No,
words,
no, no, no,
15,
no.
14, 13,
No,
10.
no,
something like
don't
that.
agree with Luther. I said anybody, he's ready for the title shot after he whoops up
You
on
don't think
Fox.
experience makes a difference?
He got experience.
5
He's
fights, 6
He's an
fights.
amateur.
He
This
is an
guy's one of the
amateur.
best
Amateur
amateur
pro is
ever. I
different
seen him on the
ballgame.
bridge.
Yes, you did. I think he's got a shot to be big time. I think his people know he can be big time. That's why he's going to be like a porcelain doll. Let's handle him properly. And if you and I were handling him, be honest, would we put him up against a top 5 guy?
I would.
I wouldn't.
I would.
Let's
Jim
milk
just
it.
flip flops.
Let's milk
One
it.
minute he says marinate, next
Let's-
minute throw him in there.
That's Mr.
You
Butterworth.
can't. You can't.
If I had
He
him, I
going
would.
flip
If
flop.
I had him, I would learn his language a little better, so I could communicate with him.
I think
He's just ready. Some guys are just ready. He's ready.
Like in baseball, football, like for example,
He was
baseball.
like a Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray was ready early.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's ready. Just I haven't seen enough to say.
Right. He's fighting
ready.
C-level
I've
guys,
seen
and he,
enough.
you know, he
I've
has.
seen enough.
You weren't
You
even
seen
looking
him?
at him on the bridge. You looked at the women. I saw you. You was announcing
You
the
didn't even
fights,
know what
looking
weight
at them.
class he was in. What weight class is he in?
Well, I think they should wait a little bit, move him. I agree with Luther, maybe number 15, but let's see how he does. Throw him. Don't throw him in a 12-foot deep just yet.
Yeah, we need to
Throw him
see a
in
little
the-
more out
in
of
the
him.
10-foot. Let's wait because you have something here. You have something special. Let's not let him get pounded.
He got to send money home.
Well, all right. Well, anyway, there's some good fights coming up. Now, Jim mentioned the name Keyshawn Davis, who looked great against Zaragoza, who was 8-2-1. Your thoughts on Keyshawn Davis?
Listen, I was high on him before he went to the Olympics. I think I told you guys
When's he
about
gonna cut
him.
his hair?
I don't. Here you go with this fashion. I
style.
don't care about his hair. I care about his style. He showed power in both hands. He's fluid. He sparred with Shakur Stevenson a lot in his career. Look at the body shots. He just punished this guy over and over. This is how you get rid of a C-level fighter. This is what impresses me, Claudio.
Play with him,
Get a
Luther.
pick through that?
I don't care about his hair. Listen, Tommy Hearns went in there with a Jerry curl, went in there,
and Nate showed nothing
whatever.
to it.
So, listen, I like the way, I like the body
quick,
shot.
yeah.
Short, quick. When you hit a guy to the body, look at that. He has the charisma. Watch him walk to the camera and show you who he is. He is the real deal body shot. Nobody can stand up. That reminds me of what Bernard Hopkins did to Oscar De La Hoya. You hit him right on that right spot.
Roy
you go
and
down.
Virgil.
Roy and Virgil as well. Yes. This body shot is amazing.
size for 135.
Yeah,
Nice
he's
size.
going to be that guy. He's fought with Shakur. He has all the skills, all the heart. He fought 26-year-old Andy Cruz in the Olympics. I thought he won, but he didn't get the call.
Yeah.
He's big time. He's ready for the top guys right now.
I'm with you on that, and he's still young, but I wouldn't throw him in just yet. I didn't say he wasn't ready, but I would still.
Well, he's with top rank, so they're going to have a bunch of C-level guys for the next 8 fights.
Is that bad?
No, I think that's good. It's going to get confidence. It's going to get his name out there. He's going to get some highlight knockouts. Keep it going. This guy
Keep it
is
going
big
is the
time.
word. And yeah, don't let him sit for 5-6 months. This was not a war for
Right.
him. I'd fight him in a few months. I know you agree with that, Jim.
How old is he? 21? Because he look every bit of 39. He's an old look. Yeah, hey, Lou,
Nah,
you know he's
he's a
old.
young
Listen,
buck.
he come from a
got
fighting
it.
family. He come from, although he
Couple
only got the
brothers fight,
silver.
yeah.
He only got the silver. That's why he calls
Robbery.
himself DB3, because his other brother Calvin's a fighter, but he also has a younger brother who's going for the Olympics. So they come from a fighting family. They know how to fight. I don't like his wide stance. I don't like his hairstyle. I like to see
cares
him get
about
some
his
dreads.
hairstyle?
Can he get some dreadlocks, Lou? Is that what he's growing
I'm not
his hair
caring
for?
about his hair,
But listen,
Jim.
I got
Let's see
him.
your
I got
hair.
him in the top 10 already at 135 pounds with only 5 fights. He speaks very well. I watched a lot of his interviews. He wants to be great.
Yes, he does.
Let's see if he's trained. Let's see if he continues to train hard. A lot of these guys, man, like a Wilder, they get these video vixens, and then the next
here
thing
you
you
go,
know,
Jim.
they go the other way.
you know what? You
he
make
get
a
him
good
a good
point,
woman.
Jim.
He get him a good woman, Lou.
He went the other
can't
way.
have distractions.
He tapped Muhammad Ali 10 title defenses. That's the right way to me. Anytime
So
you
it wasn't
tap Muhammad
Fury to
Ali's
beat him.
record,
It was, well, you know, you make a good point about distractions, though.
Yeah.
Especially a young kid coming up. There's going to be a lot of things.
I don't like
thrown his way.
distractions.
Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. But I think, and I like his nickname, the businessman. He's looking at this as
Businessman,
a business.
yeah.
And I think that's good, a young man like that, thinking about stuff like that. I think he's got a chance to be big time. But like you, I wouldn't throw him into the deep end just yet. Because you don't know how he's going to handle when we talked about a baseball pitcher you and I were talking about. When, yeah, he was dominating that particular conference, but when he moves up, how's he going to react? Didn't react well. When you get punched in the mouth, I like it. I know this probably isn't a good example or analogy. When Mike Tyson fought Vander Holyfield, first shot of the fight, he clocked Vander. Vander didn't even blink. Vander was used to it. He was a man. How do we know how he's going to react to a good shot?
Yeah, it's a good point, very good point. And it's hard to ask Luther that because he only named 5 lightweights. I'm better to ask that.
I
when he's
gave
ready
my top 5. You had 15. You couldn't even get that right, Jim.
But I think that we're all on the same page. This kid's going to be
good
big time,
division.
and I
Yeah,
think he's going to be a superstar.
I don't know if he can hold lightweight because his body type, he looks big for a lightweight. man.
Right, yeah. You
Yeah,
look
he
at him,
looks
you would
real
think
big.
he's more of a welterweight type. I mean,
And I
you're
like
right.
because he don't have no tattoos that I can see.
Now, we're going to be nice about this, but I want your opinion. You mentioned the bridge fights when we saw Keontae Irving. The first thing when they say this kid is a can't miss. All right?
Who?
Keontae Irving, when I first saw him, it was in Pittsburgh, Ireland, right?
Yeah.
I said, that kid, within seconds, as soon as I saw him, I said, he has it.
Yeah.
Not only physically, but just the whole thing, right? And he looked good, and he's done well, but he's not getting the attention that Davis is right now. Am I right or wrong?
Well, when you have a loss in your hometown, they'll do it.
No, was it a draw?
No, he got beat.
Well,
But it
Was it a draw or he get beat?
not on his record.
Maybe he got a home. Okay, he got a draw. Okay, then maybe you're right because I was at the fight, so maybe they gifted him. a draw.
He's still young in his career, obviously.
He ain't focused. He ain't training. Hey, let's not sugarcoat it. The guy got all the talent in the world, but his work ethic is bad. He won't even show up to the gym. So, until he get his work. Listen, he ain't no spring chicken. I think that window of opportunity passed
not
him
gone
by.
yet, Jim.
Yeah, it's gone, man.
Jim has a
He don't
chance
get
to
the Jim.
slander. He's going to throw the
And
slander
you know I
out
love
there.
him. Yeah, we
Yeah,
grew up
you
with
love him. That's
Keyshawn
why you
Davis.
slander him. Yeah.
No, if he won't show up to the gym, how you gonna get better?
But after a while, when you see your bank, in all honesty, let's point blank
They
is
send
what? Your
pigeons
bank
out.
account, right? I don't have my bank account. I got a kid now. He's going to have to turn it up, as I always say.
Right.
What do you
right.
think?
Listen, I was always a big fan of Keontae Irvin. I'm not, unlike Jim, I'm not giving up on him. I think he still has the potential, and I think he can get there. You know, it takes
the
the
last
right.
And what's a big
circumstances.
motivator? When
Yeah.
that bank account
Yeah,
goes
when that
down.
bank account, he has a
Turn it up.
kid now.
I'm the only one
you know?
between us that's seen his last fight. He need to hang him up.
Now, do you think that he
Hang
didn't
him
do
up.
well his last fight? Do you think that'll inspire, motivate him to let me again turn it up?
No, he still ain't going to the gym. It inspired him to stay away more.
Well,
You're not going to show up to the
Jim
gym,
is
man.
just a hater.
I mean, I'm just going to call it like it. And
He
I love the
slander
kid.
him, but you love him.
I
loves
love
him,
the
dude.
kid.
of course. Don't like Luther and me. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about a big fight in the UK. This should have been done years ago. You talk about marinating a fight, but it sold out in 10 minutes. But it's an exciting fight over there. I want to ask Luther and Jim if it means anything here or in the rankings. And we'll be right back with the boxing authorities. Welcome back to the Boxing Authorities. A fight that, as I said, is a big time in the UK. And I'm interested in it, but it's not getting a whole lot of play here. And we already see my boy here already upset. But this is a fight. Luther talks about that word he says all the time. Marinate, marinate, marinate. Amir Khan against Kell Brook. Who you were a big fan of Kell Brook.
I was a big fan of both, you know, but you know, that was before Amir Khan showed he had a glass chin. He's a mirror, glass
He goes down
jaw.
bad too, doesn't he, Lou?
Oh, he's some of the highlight knockouts. He's the victim on most of that footage. And Kell Brook, I was a fan of his before he got both of his eye sockets broke. One by Triple G, one by Errol Spence. A fight that should have happened in UK 10 years ago. You know, these guys had a great career. Now these guys are trying to cash in on one payday.
Yeah, they're
it
going
could have
to.
been. It could have been big time. Yeah, it was sold out in 10 minutes, but it could have been so much bigger. It means nothing now. This is a retirement fight. Get one last big check, and let's see who's going to get hurt first: the glass chin or the eye socket. I think the glass chin's going to go out.
Right? Like the Thriller in Manila. What would you
Glass
call
chin
it?
versus eye socket. Which one gets broke first?
I think that those pictures are taken at Mike McSorley's gym. It looks like. Luther, real quick, before I go to Jim, do you think 10 years ago it would have been big time here as well?
I think 10 years ago, yeah, because both of those guys had a nice little name, a nice following. Kell Brook was like a boogeyman in the welterweight division once he got that belt, you know, and beat Sean Porter. Nobody wanted to go to UK and take it other than Errol Spence. All those guys were ducking him. Amir Khan had the quickest hands in boxing for 1 second. So it'll be a good fight, but you know why it lasts. But one of those guys is going on. I think it's going to be Khan.
Did you say Luther real quick?
That's go ahead, Jim. We got time. It's all yours.
We got time today,
First
Jim.
of all, you got two shot fighters at 35 years old. I used to like, you know, both fighters for what
You
they
never saw 'em.
Amir Khan and those guys. But Kell Brooks to me was never the same after his first stabbing, and then he really went downhill after his second stabbing. Listen, I'm happy these guys are getting a payday. They deserve it. I love my UK fighters and my UK fans, and you know, it's going to be good. I can't wait to watch it.
You know, I was always a big Amir Khan fan until he fought Paulie on IG. And Paulie said he said, I never thought I would get into a ring with somebody who was faster than me.
Yeah.
And he had good hands, like you said, for a second. And he just, that chin, that's something you're either born with or not. I was talking to somebody yesterday about that.
Ask Roy Jones.
Well, okay, but why is it that Tommy Morrison, who was 6'3", big guy, didn't have the greatest chin, but a guy like Boom Boom Mancini, who's 5'4", you can hit him with a truck. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But I am interested in this fight. Now, here's the I don't say a problem. Here's the thing, Luther. Whoever wins, what's their future?
Maybe they have a rematch. I don't see much. Both of them
Keep fighting each other.
just keep fighting
trilogy,
each other.
the
Trilogy of these
right?
guys, two shot fighters.
Like
yeah,
Conor Ben, right?
Yeah, these guys, they're done. They're done. Kell Brook, you know, we saw what happened when he fought Terrence Crawford. Went out, he barely touched him. He went running to the ropes. These guys are shot. Maybe another rematch if it's an exciting fight, but they're done.
and the winner is of this fight?
Kell, Brook, I believe. I think he's going to catch Amir Khan with something, and Khan, that chin's going to go out on him again.
You know, Luther gonna always hit the black fighter.
And you're going to say the white fighter.
And neither
So it
I don't think
doesn't
he's white, is he? Go ahead.
I think that 10 years ago, I think that Kell Brooks, I would give
It's
the
Brook.
decision. Brooks. But like I said, after double stabbing,
Double stabbing.
I just think that think Amir Khan. If I was betting on this fight, I would bet on a 35-year Amir Khan.
Let me ask you real quick. 10 years ago, who do you like?
10 years ago, I still say Kell Brook. Okay. I mean, he was just a boogeyman. He had more power. And I don't know, Amir Khan didn't have a chin when he was in his prime. I don't know what his chin looks like now. I don't know what his chin looks like now at 35. He was getting put to sleep at
Worse
25.
now, I would imagine.
That's what I'm saying. So if Kell Brook has any power left,
Right.
I think Amir Khan's going to go to sleep.
I'm going to go with Khan this fight. 10 years ago, I'm going with Khan, and I'm going to go with Khan.
Do we have 15 seconds?
For you, of course.
In 15 seconds, Luke, you give the white man a little credit. Is there anybody on your list that you can say
Jim,
something?
Please, stop.
Any weight class, Luke.
More fake narratives you put out there. I told you my favorite guys.
When we come back, we're going to talk about Jim's all-time great favorite, Canelo. Right back with the Boxing Authorities. Welcome back to the Boxing Authorities. Now, something I keep forgetting to say whenever Canelo fought Plant, Jim said, 11 rounds. He was right. So I apologize.
Canelo,
these keep shows that they keep going by, and I forgot to give you credit, not only for picking the winner, but the round. Yeah. So I gotta give
the
him credit.
ultimate fanboy. He's a Canelo
He was right.
fanboy.
He
You're the
was right.
president of the Canelo
He was right.
fanboy club.
I'm going to make a prediction here. Now, there's talk about him fighting Usyk, and Usyk said that he would fight Canelo if he's allowed to keep his 3
stay away
championship
from
belts.
Usyk.
Well, now, before I talk about my prediction, let's talk about that. Do you think it'll happen, and what do you think about that?
I don't think it'll happen. He's all wrong for Canelo. I don't see Usyk going that. I think he's all wrong. He's going to outbox him. Usyk is all wrong for Canelo. He's going to outbox Canelo. That'd be a bad matchup for Canelo because he's
been wrong before?
Power-wise. Canelo can match him in power, but
think?
Usyk's just going to outbox him.
Okay.
And he's not going to get winded like Canelo planned. He's not going to drop his height and get caught with that left uppercut.
Good point.
Now,
That's a bad.
You're a Usyk expert.
Listen, I've watched him. I told you he had a chance against AJ. I didn't think he would beat him, but I said he would have a chance. That's a bad matchup for Canelo. You better stay away from Usyk.
All right. Jim?
Well, first of all, the
Fanboy.
sad part about it, we ought to have a 1,000,000-man march for the redhead. Because, man, this country wants this man to paint the house, cut the grass, work on the car, and then go fight
He's
everybody,
the one talking
man.
about fighting.
He's the
This-
one,
the guy
he's
don't
the
get
one
a break.
jumping around.
He don't get a break. The guy turned pro at 15 because he had to fight his way out of Mexico because he's redhead. He comes to America, they hate
Don't all
redhead.
greats have
This
to
is a
go-
great fighter. Nobody
All
wants to
great
give him a
fighters want him to
chance.
keep fighting.
Here's a little man at 135 pounds. Y'all want him to go up to Bridgerweight and
He
heavyweight.
went up.
We want him to stay.
No. He went up to Bridgerweight,
He's
cruiserweight.
He's
and all
fighting
that.
an African at cruiserweight. That ain't good enough. And he's the champ. But that ain't good enough. You want him to go ahead and beat the
Nobody
African and
asked him
then
to go
fight
up to
this guy.
cruiserweight. People were asking him to fight the best at
Is he fighting
168.
cruiserweight for the championship?
People wanted him to fight
Is
the
he
best at
fighting an
168.
African at cruiserweight? Isn't that enough?
A C-level
now
guy
y'all want him to
with a
fight
belt.
Usyk.
Don't talk-
Then
I
you
told
want
you
him,
about
then you want him to
McCullough.
fight
That's not
Tyson
good.
Fury. You guys ain't
Nobody
happy
said
until a guy
Fury.
get beat down.
Can you answer the question?
Yeah,
though?
he top
You did
five
that.
all time.
Okay, can you answer the question?
He's
You
right
said
by
all that,
Sugar
but
Ray
you didn't answer the
Robinson.
question. Can you answer the question, please?
What was the question?
Usyk versus Canelo. Can you answer the question?
Canelo would beat him.
You think so?
Finally,
Yes.
10
Size
minutes
of
later,
it.
you
And he's
finally
gonna beat
answered
the
the question.
African. He's gonna beat the African just like he beat the Russian at 175. Nobody thought. He beat Triple G. Nobody thought. He beat Plant. Nobody thought.
No, nobody had Plant beating him.
We
He
said it's
punished
gonna be
Plant.
good.
He
We said it's gonna be
punished
good.
Plant.
I'm telling you, and I'm. We
Plant
said-
will never fight again.
He was
He'll
losing
never
that.
be the same.
Listen, I saw an interview
get the
just
hell
this
knocked
week.
out of
He's
him.
looking forward to his next fight.
didn't get the hell
What are you
knocked out of
talking
him.
about?
What, Plant
He
said that?
Yeah.
What did he sign on the dotted line yet? You can say anything. You know,
He-
I
listen,
used to
he
go.
did not take a beating,
up
Jim.
until Muhammad
Put your
Ali
glasses
died.
on. He didn't take a beating.
Hey, Claudio will tell you. Up until Muhammad Ali died, you go to the Boxing Hall of Fame or something, they be like, "You Ali's coming back." They were saying that for years, Lou. He's looking forward to his next
He
fight.
didn't-
He got
He
punished.
didn't get punished.
Canelo
I had
punished
him winning. I had him
won.
winning,
He
but he got
got
caught. He got caught in that round.
To me,
that's it.
me and you were talking about somebody just beating you round after
Right.
round after round, like Holmes and Cobb,
Right,
where
right.
Crusoe quit. This was nothing like that.
Remember
like that.
Cassius
He's
Clay
got caught.
/ Muhammad Ali beat that guy because he wouldn't call him Muhammad
That was
Ali.
not, and this
Yeah,
was
but
nothing
he
like that.
punished.
This was nothing
Canelo
like that.
punished him.
He
This
hit him
was
with
nothing
1,000
like that.
punches. He hit him with 1,000 punches. This,
I bet
Jim,
you
you
won't.
can't
I
compare
bet
the
you
two.
won't MF him again.
now, I'm going to say this, and I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be funny. If he fights Makabu, I think it's going to be. I didn't say he's going to.
Come on, don't
Is that
talk
the
about
black
it.
guy?
Yeah, I think he's going to give him more of a run than people think. That's all I'm saying. Now, if he fights
Who will?
Usyk,
Who will?
that Makabu, he can hit.
Makabu's
I
going
didn't
out
say
in
he's gonna
6.
win.
Did you see Tony Bellew dropped him in 5?
Baloo's good.
Oh gosh, come on.
Baloo is good. He's a hitter. Now, and he's tough. Now, if he fights Usyk, Luther, I think you'll agree, there's a reason why there's weight classes. As great as Manny Pacquiao was and Floyd, you're not going to have them fight, somebody who's a borderline heavyweight, right?
They're not
Cruiserweight, right?
Canelo.
I don't care who he
Canelo.
is.
They're not Canelo either.
Do you think it's too much of a jump if he goes to, and it's another thing we're going to tie into something else. I also think he's going to go Bridgerweight before he fights Usyk. Why? Because the WBC has a Bridgerweight, and they're going to want, and this is good, they want somebody to hang their hat on.
And there's a lot of C-level guys in that Bridgerweight right
But
now.
if Canelo,
I'm just saying, it is what it
Right,
is.
no, it is.
There's
Now,
no
if
top
Canelo-
guys
if-
in the
if-
Bridgerweight
listen,
right now.
If Canelo gets to be Bridgerweight, isn't that going to elevate the weight class a little bit?
Right,
Give him
yeah.
more respect.
If
Put
Canelo
eyes
does
on
go
it.
there, yeah, it'll put more eyes on
Right.
him. And there's a bunch of guys he can beat.
He'll dominate the hell out of
But
the
I
division.
still want to see Canelo versus David
You're not gonna see
Benavidez.
that.
That's the fight I need to see.
No, he beat him to death. But
Yeah,
listen,
that's why he jumped and
if
dropped all the
Canelo
belts.
wrestled
Canelo.
Hulk Hogan, if Canelo wrestled Hulk Hogan, you'd have
Hogan.
excuse for that. I mean, I'm telling you, you guys are just kicking this redhead down the street.
But is it too much of a jump?
Listen, if he was popular, if he had blonde hair or he is a brunette, he could still be a
You were
middleweight
discussing.
or junior middleweight.
People aren't
It
talking
could
about
be
how he's
great.
looked. They're talking
he gotta
about
keep
he's
going,
jumping.
man.
The problem that people have with Canelo is that he's
like
jumping
the Raggedy Ann
around. When people
doll.
have a guy that's ready to fight you, he's jumping around. Jamal Charlo was there at 160. He took a franchise belt.
Is
Boo Boo
Jamal Charlo
Andre.
fighting Cruiser?
Boo Boo Andre was there at 154. He didn't fight.
Who?
David Benavidez was there at 168. He jumps up to cruiserweight.
Can he get a break? He fought 4 times in 1 year. No fighter's done that.
That's
Last year
great.
during COVID,
That's great.
he
So now,
fought 4 times in 1 year.
Listen,
and soon as
he's
he gets done
undisputed
fighting,
at
like Claudio
168.
said,
He needs to fight
soon as he
David
gets done-
Benavidez.
Soon as he
Quit
gets
making
done fighting,
excuses.
y'all looking for the next one. Been a slower beat, Taz.
Everybody's doing that.
He's going up to
Look,
cruiserweight.
Lomo just fought. They're talking about the next fight. They're not talking about him jumping
The
and finding
guy
another
who was
C-level guy.
invincible in boxing at the time was Triple G. He moved up and whooped him. Then he moved up and
After
beat.
he avoided the first time. He was
Listen,
supposed to
everybody
fight-
was scared of that Russian at 175. He beat him. Now he's fighting the African champion at cruiserweight. And now you guys are moving him up
But what
more.
Luther's saying
the
is,
Bridger.
what Luther's saying is, he's
That's-
not
that's a
fighting the
different-
best of that
right.
division.
He's
Oh,
not
my
going to.
goodness.
He's fighting the
That's
worst champion
And that's not
at
enough.
cruiserweight.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a
But-
champion.
yeah.
There's a lot of guys that have.
Redhead lives matter, Lou.
Now you're saying, if I'm, and correct me if I'm wrong, if he fought, and again, I think Makabu's going to give him hell. I didn't say he's going to beat him,
that's
but
gonna
if he
be a
fought
wash.
the
You're wrong.
best of that division,
Yeah,
you'd
then-
be good.
Yeah, I'd be fine with it.
be
But
good.
don't go cherry pick. Who's the guy with 3 losses, got knocked out?
Is it
3
like this?
I'm fighting
Is
him.
it like this? Alabama, again, football, beating the Division II champion.
Exactly. You want Alabama to face
Georgia.
a top team,
Right,
Georgia,
right.
and that's what we're saying.
Wait,
he needs to fight the
can
top
I say something?
guys.
Because I'm the boxing historian.
Not the way you're talking.
He's the
man.
hair
Listen,
color.
Everybody
and-
says,
you watch-
including Claudio and myself, and even you, Luther, when you want to be agreeable. Everybody says the greatest pound for pound was Sugar Ray Robinson, right? The greatest pound for
I
pound.
didn't
Sugar
say that.
Ray
Okay.
Robinson would not. Sugar Ray Robinson had an apartment in Pittsburgh and wouldn't fight Charlie Burley. He said, I would never fight Charlie Burley. So he ducked Charlie Burley, but nobody says that. Charlie Burley's the only guy in the Hall of Fame that never was a champion.
But why did he fight him? Why didn't he fight him?
Well, because he seen him knock out Archie Moore. and wasn't that enough?
And unfortunately, that was part of the
Black
Murderers Road. And a lot of
Wait,
these guys.
wait. You know, teaching me a little black history? Black Murderers Road? Where was that at?
There was a lot of black fighters that were ducked at that time.
Was that on the Hill District? Was that it?
Charlie Burley was one of those guys that was ducked. They fought tough guys. They fought each other.
Yeah, he was being ducked by Sugar Ray Robinson.
But can Sugar Ray Robinson get away with it because he fought LaMotta, Basilio,
Right. He was
and
fighting
Turpin,
other top guys.
I'm
I'm upset that he didn't get that big shot
Listen,
as well.
I'm going to bring you guys in an article during that time.
Something you made up again
Sugar
from
Ray Robinson
Smokopedia.
said, I would never fight Charlie Burley.
Okay,
Okay,
he
Jim.
fought, but his legacy is still what? LaMotta, Basilio, Turpin.
What's Canelo's legacy?
You
Same thing.
you tell me.
Just as good.
Oh, come
Just
on,
as
Jim.
good.
Stop.
Just as
Okay,
good.
who shines against Canelo? Triple G.
Triple G,
I'll give
Floyd,
credit
Floyd,
for- Nobody
dominated him. Laura was a
His
good fight. I thought
brother
Laura
was
beat him.
kidnapped. That's how Floyd
come on,
won it.
Jim.
His
He
bro-
got
Didn't I
destroyed.
show you Claudio? I showed Claudio the article.
Fake article. There's a lot of fake stuff that you find on the internet,
There's
Jim.
nothing fake on the
It
internet.
was his
You bite your
favorite
tongue.
brother. If it would have been one of
Yeah,
his
who
other
cares?
brothers, yeah,
Oh,
they
I'm
got
just
his
saying.
favorite
Come on,
brother.
To the
He
Burley
lost
point-
fair and square.
To the Burley point, I don't think anybody's going to say Sugar Ray Robinson was great, except he didn't fight Charlie Burley. I don't think anybody's saying that. You know what I'm saying? But Canelo,
There's
and
a
again,
lot
to
of
Luther's
top
point-
guys, a lot of undefeated fighters that he should have fought
And
that
I'm
he has
not
not
riding the
fought.
fence.
Sugar Ray was a good-looking tap dancer and had bars and stuff. Canelo's a redhead guy in America where they don't like redheads and they hate them anymore, and more than that in Mexico.
I'm going to say this, and Jim is 1,000% right, where he kind of said, Luther and I want him to fight this. You can't fight the best every time because it's going to wear you down and you're going to get all busted up. I get it. You're going to pick your spots. But with Luther's...
When's the last time Andy Dalton had a commercial? Have you seriously?
All right, anyway, but what Luther's saying too, and I'm not riding the fence, I'm just saying both do have a point. Luther's saying fight the best of the super middles, then go to the super middle. If you want to move up, fight the best of the light.
How many times is he going to duck David Benavidez?
Once
When
in
he
a while,
had
I'm
the
going
belt,
fighting
he
a
didn't fight him.
little lower-
He would
And now he's
kill
the number
David.
one. He still won't fight him. Jamal Charlo.
Y'all wanted Plant. Y'all wanted him to fight Plant
He
first.
wanted to fight Plant. Plant had the third belt. Yes, that was a good fight.
It was a nice fight.
But
Yeah,
now there's
yeah,
a number
it was-
one. He drops all the belt and jumps up to
Howard
cruiserweight.
Cosell
Fight a
would've
guy
retired.
you never
That
talked
would've
about
been
that
a fight. Howard
cruiserweight.
Cosell would have retired watching that fight, just like he did Tex Cobb
But do you
in
think
Holmes.
if he does go to Bridger, do you think it will elevate that?
Oh yeah,
division?
yeah. Canelo will
And he's
bring
got to
bring
stay
some
there.
eyeballs, and there's a bunch of C-level
So he
guys
got
that
to
he'll
go up
dominate.
100 pounds from where
been
he's at.
climbing up
It's not,
anyway.
it's not 100
135.
pounds. It's not 100 pounds.
He was 135. Now he's going up to 220.
Now
It's
He's
not
gonna get him started now
It's
with
not
that.
230. You know, I mean, listen.
Oh, okay, just 90 pounds. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
But he's doing
That's
it.
fair. Yeah, that's
But again,
fair.
there's talk again that Usyk will come down to fight him.
You know, just-
Listen, man. I
respect.
listen.
Real
There's a
quick-
lot
I'm
of
sorry.
guys.
This
You know,
country
there
gotta
is
do a better
talk, but I
job.
think that would be all wrong for Canelo. That's another fight that Canelo won't take.
Probably not.
Won't take that one.
Mauricio Suleiman, the president of WBC, said the most interesting non-title fight would be Wilder against Ruiz, which I agree. But as we spoke a few shows back, Wilder's kind of talking about retiring. And what do they say in football, especially?
once you talk about retiring, you already retired.
Yeah. Would you like to see that fight?
Oh, I would love to see that fight. Wilder just mentioned it. He was on a little podcast with Kevin Hart and mentioned it about retirement. He's not going to retire. He doesn't want to go out with an L to Tyson
He was
Fury.
on with Kevin Hart.
He was on a podcast with
That's
Kevin
where
Hart.
you're getting.
Listen,
That's where you're getting your news.
No, that's what he said.
Two comedians.
Listen, he'll come back and he will dominate Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz will get dropped in at least 8 rounds. I don't see that fight going a distance. Wilder still can beat everybody out there. There's just one guy that outweighs him by 40 pounds that he was not able to
But
beat.
Canelo can go up 90 pounds.
We're not talking about Canelo.
No, I'm just saying.
You are a
I'm
true
just saying.
fanboy. We can't go one show without you bringing him up.
No, you're
okay,
saying-
can you
you're-
stay
you're
focused?
making an excuse
Can you
for
stay
Wilder.
focused for once?
You're
Can you
making
stay
an excuse
focused?
for Wilder.
There's no excuse. Is it a fact? It's a fact. He was giving up 40 pounds.
Now,
3 weight divisions.
What do you think of that fight with Wilder and Canelo? I'm kidding. Wilder and Ruiz. I'm with you.
If Andy Ruiz fight, he got fast hands.
Yeah, when he's eating them hamburgers, you got fast.
We don't know what weight is he gonna come in.
Wilder already showed that he got a stamina problem, so I think Ruiz can get Wilder. I think Ruiz can. Listen, this is
That's
the
true
deepest
hate
era
there, boy.
in the history of heavyweight. So
Did you
even
see
if the guys lose, they still have an
Did
opportunity.
you see the fight with Andy Ruiz and Chris Arreola?
No.
Chris Arreola
not that I
dropped
can
Andy
remember.
Ruiz.
That was
Yes.
before
And that was-
AJ.
No,
That was
after
after
his last fight.
Come on, Jim, stay up.
I believe it was
that was
last fight.
after. It was after. It was the next
I think
fight.
it was his last fight.
And he struggled with Chris Arreola. Wilder destroyed a younger, better version of Arreola. This is a bad
I'm gonna
matchup for
say
Andy
the same
Ruiz.
When's the last time Wilder won a fight? How many years ago? 3?
Oh.
I'm
3?
going to say this
Three?
about real quick before we go to our mailbag. I'm going to say this, and I said this to you guys when you were in my house, and I said it, they showed the replay. Wilder and Fury separated themselves so much from the rest of the division. And I think I'm with Luther. Wilder's going to come in shape. He's got heart. Anthony Joshua, who knows what Anthony Joshua you're going to
Don't
see.
sleep Frank Sanchez.
Well, but I mean, right now they're talking
He's
about
not.
fighting.
Yeah, Frank Sanchez
you guys
isn't
didn't
in
see
the.
my heavyweight list?
No, we don't need to see 150 people.
I think it's a good
And
fight
it's a top
for
10.
Wilder. I don't want to see him fight too much longer, but if he comes in mentally there and not worry about retiring, I think he's going to beat Ruiz.
How many
But-
kids he got to feed?
Well, he better keep fighting then. But when we come back, we're going to do our
Disrespectful,
popular segment, the mailbag, right back with the boxing authorities. Welcome back to the Boxing Authorities, our popular segment, Boxing Mailbag. Keep sending them to boxingmailbag@yahoo.com and to my show, The Claudio Rosano Show on claudiorosano.com. Remember, you are a big part of the show. This is for Jim from Ron again from Rochester, New York. Jim, you mentioned Dwayne Bobbitt a lot. Why didn't he become champ, and could he become champ today?
Well, there is a young Dwayne Bobbitt with a chin. Dwayne Bobbitt was a great fighter. He just didn't have the greatest chin. Him and his brother were outstanding. His brother got killed in a car crash early on, but both of them could be champions today.
All right. This is a comment from Enrique from New York. Luther, I agree with you for not letting fights marinate. Claudio, I agree with you on having more fights on regular TV. Jim, I agree with you on Cassius Clay and Ali, the difference.
Yes.
But Luther, I do think there is a right time for fighters to fight. Claudio, I disagree with you on thinking that Shakur Stevenson will retire undefeated. And Jim, this is not the best heavyweight era of all time. Which I didn't know
That's
he
a
said
fact.
that.
Wow.
Did Jim say that? I didn't know that.
No, just 100 times on every show.
Comments. Again, another comment. Paul from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Great area. They had a great minor league ball club there years ago, independent. I think the training methods today are very overrated. I know Luther says that a lot. And really not effective. Old school, much better. Your thoughts? Luther, you always talk about this,
that's
man.
a great comment. I say that all the time. The old school methods, they were out there
Luther
doing
gets
the
mad
yard
about
work.
that.
Now these guys are on a treadmill. They got the ropes
Yeah.
going, and you see guys coming in and get tired in the second round.
I know,
After
yeah.
they had a whole year of training and they're winded in the second and third round. Go back to old school. I respect those methods a lot better.
Like the old what was that Rocky when he fought the Russian?
Right,
the,
right.
The Russian guy had all that technology. Rocky's out there shoveling snow.
Doing it, yep.
Jim?
Well, it was different. Women are bad for your legs, and Wilder was with his woman the night before the fight.
Oh, come on, Jim.
Rocky
Were you in the room?
Rocky
Stop the
Marciano used to
craziness.
go away for 8 months and train.
Didn't talk to his wife.
No wife, no women, no nothing. It was just different, man, than it is today.
And with the technology now, so you're saying, I
gotta
agree
stop
with you.
slandering
The
Wilder.
old
You-
time is much
Yeah,
better.
much better.
Luther, great point. These guys are coming in, they're drinking their own urine, they're eating properly and all this, and they come in tired.
Analytics.
Yeah, we won't get into that. But, okay, that's all we have for this show. As always, we hope you enjoy our show as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Boxing Authorities.